What's up, guys? The trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage was just released, and if you're a 90s Spider-Man fan like me, then you know what this means. This movie is a setup for Maximum Carnage, one of the most kick-ass arcs in the entire Spider-Man universe. And hey, that got me fired up. My teenage dreams of finally watching a Maximum Carnage movie are at hand, so I immediately decided to show you, my dear audience, the iconic Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage. Let's hit it. The Maximum Carnage saga was released as a 14-volume story back in 1993, with the game being released just 1 year later in 1994. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage was a huge turning point for comic book video games. It was one of the first games to be based on a specific comic book arc. This helped keep the story cohesive and interesting, instead of just creating some generic plot for the sole purpose of it being there. You know, video game script writing didn't exactly have a high average back then, and Maximum Carnage also introduced comic book-like cutscenes in between acts. And the best part? They were taken directly from the comic books. Some of the lines were altered or taken from other panels here and there, but the overall feel was quite authentic. Hi, I hope you're really enjoying this video because Maximum Carnage is one of the best beat-em-ups you can play on the Super Nintendo, alright? It is. Great gameplay, amazing cutscenes, and really good music. Now, I'm here to ask you to subscribe to my channel because I need to get to that 1,000 subs. Alright, I'm pretty close to the 4,000 hours of exhibition time, which is all thanks to you. But as soon as I hit 1,000 subs, I can begin monetizing my channel. So please, help a Belmont out. Alright? And now, let's get back to the video. Let's go. This was unheard of. No game had ever done that before. Not a beat-em-up game at least. And this helped add even more weight and sense of urgency and chaos to the game. Now, why it didn't become an industry standard for beat-em-ups is beyond me. Nah, just kidding. They were lazy. The gameplay was pretty simple and mostly in line with the standard beat-em-up games of its time. You could perform short and simple combos, jump, dash, and use your web symbiotic powers. And there's one thing that made Maximum Carnage stick out from other Spider-Man games. Now, using your web did not deplete any gauges whatsoever. Granted, you had no offensive web or symbiotic powers. You could reel opponents in, make them stand still in their tracks for a few moments, create a shield, or a barrier in Venom's case, and go web swinging. But even if we did not get any damaging powers like we would later get in the Marvel Superheroes game, this helped furthering the sensation of actually playing as Spider-Man and Venom. And hey, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Whenever there's a new movie or game out, I'll always find a way to bring you guys related content like this. A cool little addition, or change should I say, was that the emergency special attack was changed into a fully animated attack by supporting characters which appeared in the comic book arc. They all had pretty much the same effect of damaging everyone on screen, but the variety in character sprites helped keep things interesting. I particularly love Nightwatch. He was one creepy dude. Glad he was on our side. On certain instances, you will get the chance to choose between playing as Spider-Man or Venom. They're just like their comic book counterparts. Spider-Man is faster, but Venom hits much harder. This also warrants at least one extra full playthrough, because there are a few instances where they go separate ways in the game. And of course, at the very last battle against Carnage, you can alternate between both of them at will. You see, this is how a good comic book game is made. You give players what they want in the most straightforward way possible. Whatever elements you add to the game, like upgrades for example, only increase the fun factor. They should never get in the way. You don't waste a good portion of the game with shitty build-ups that came out of nowhere, or maim the player's ability to feel like he's the real thing by killing off superpowers just because. And Maximum Carnage delivers all of those good things. And hey, there's no shortage of super bosses here either. The team behind Maximum Carnage went all out and made sure to include everyone they possibly could. They had very unique looks and movesets. There were even a few instances where the player was actually meant to lose to some of them. You know, in order to stay in line with the comic book itself. Again, this was unheard of in a beat-em-up game. As a matter of fact, not many games, no matter what the genre, ever took this path back then. This added a lot of dynamics in terms of storytelling and continuity. And speaking of good, no, excellent things, there's the soundtrack. This game alone proved that the Super Nintendo was more than capable of creating killer heavy metal tracks with its now very limited sound chip. Also, if you're a Sabbath fan, you'll even recognize the mob rules in one of them. Seriously, this game has one of the best soundtracks ever created for a 16-bit console. They're the type of songs you can rip out of the game and put in your car or cell phone and listen to them at full volume. Just go easy on the gas pedal though. However, that's not to say that the game is without its flaws. Just like in the comics, eventually Carnage gathers a team of supervillains to paint the town with blood. And in at least 2 of the boss encounters, you'll have to fight all of them in succession. The problem here is that instead of smarter, the boss's AI starts getting cheaper with each subsequent encounter. The last battle against Carnage is infuriating, even if you know what to do. His hitboxes are ridiculous and his moves happen almost instantly. Add that to the fact that there are no continues at all and you're gonna have to play the game quite a few times in order to beat it. Unless you use the cheat codes to give yourself more lives and continues, of course. In that case, it's a whole different story. But even with those flaws, Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage is still one hell of a game. Sure, there's no 2-player mode here, but adding this feature would force the developers to stray away from the original story. And this level of commitment earns Maximum Carnage an extremely solid 8 out of 10. If you throw in the secret codes in the mix, then it goes all the way up to a solid 9. And hey, if you haven't already, remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends. And also, let me know in the comments some of your favorite Spider-Man games. You know, there's so many out there that I'm bound to have missed some. Let me know. Hope you guys had a good time watching this video, and I'll see you next round. Later.